Am I funny? Is that what you're saying, Jeff?
Yeah, you're funny. I like your energy. It's good energy.
You like my energy? All right, cool.
Yeah, you got great energy. Yeah.
So I just did a cheer for Jeff. They did not allow me on the cheerleading team, but I just did a cheer for Jeff to show him that Carolina spirit. So guys, hey, thank you. And welcome once again to another episode of Forward Life Coaching. Former NCAA athletes, stories of triumph. Today I'm here and I'm honored with the presence of a fellow Tarheel, Jeff McInnis. I was reading his bio and reading through some articles and that kind of stuff. I try to read through articles. I don't really do the videos because what I like to do is take what's on paper and bring it to life. And my respect for him and my admiration of him is like up here because he embodies self-efficacy. And self-efficacy is, you know, when you think of Tim the Tool Man, like he goes to do something and, you know, he takes his tools and he goes to do it and it's all crazy in the end and then somebody has to come and fix it. Self-efficacy is the next level in self-confidence. So it's the belief that whatever you're taking on is a challenge. It's not a risk, it's a challenge. And you have the skills, the resources, the talent, the interest, whatever it takes to accomplish the goal. And you're gonna do it your way, not necessarily the way that everybody else would do, not necessarily according to the you should and you ought to, but your way. And Jeff, you're it. You're it.
Thank you. Thank you.
No, I want to
thanks for having me on.
You're welcome. And Jeff, you know what? I talk a lot. So at any point in time, you could be like, no, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, sure.
So I'm going to tell you a little bit about Jeff before we start, okay? So a little bit about him and his career. So in high school, he won the McDonald's. He was an All-American McDonald's player, right?
Right.
Free McDonald's for a year.
Say it again. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was McDonald's.
He was the third team parade All-American, right? And then he advanced to college. And he was still a superstar in college. Listen to what he did. In college, he made UNC's, he made the third team All-ACC. He made the second team All-ACC. And then when he advanced to the professional league in the CBAs, he was the CBA Newcomer of the Year, and he was also the CBA Most Valuable Player. Jeff, when he started off at West Charlotte High School in Charlotte, North Carolina, Mecklenburg County. He then went on to Oak Hill High School in Virginia, which is about 20 miles away from DC, about 20 miles. Yeah.
A little farther than that. It's more like in the Virginia like mountains part, like closer to North Carolina. It's a little farther than DC. Yeah, it's probably about 4 hours from DC.
Oh, did I get the wrong school? Oh, I hope not.
It's Mount. We're in Mount Wilson, Virginia, but I think the school you're talking about might be I think it was a school called Harker Prep, and everybody thought it was Oak Hill. Yeah. But I don't know. Oak Hill is in Mount Wilson, Virginia. I don't know which one you thought it was. Which one you think?
So the one that I read about, it like blew me away. So wait, I want to talk about that in a second, but it said Oak Hill. It said Oak Hill Academy, like 20 miles away. But wait, I want to tell you that. Let me do the intro a little bit about your history, and then I want to get to that because I'll tell you in 1 second. So then he went to Oak Hill Academy, and then after he went to Oak Hill Academy, he went to UNC Chapel Hill, right? And I heard you were thinking about a school that I don't even want to mention. I know because it might give me hives.
No, you're good.
I make out of the sweat. I can't mention it right now. And then his junior year, he took that leap and decided to go into the NBA. And guess what? He was successful. He received a contract. He went second round, 37th pick to the Denver Nuggets. And then he went to Greece, which I want to hear about Greece. And then he went to the CBA, and then he came back and he spent 12 years in the NBA? 13 years in the NBA, and actually wound up taking all those skills and the coaching knowledge, etc., and creating his own team in Charlotte, the AAU team, Team Charlotte, which has a very successful winning record. And he is also the executive director? What is your title at the Combine Academy?
I'm the head coach and executive director of basketball for high school.
Okay, so good. I was right. Okay, cool. So that is Jeff McInnis. So now you can see he is a superstar in many ways, at many fronts. And let's go. Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go. Let's go. Run it, run it, run it, run it. Wait, no, that's not the Running Man. I can't remember Running Man, but you know what I'm talking about. I'll get it before we finish. I'll get it before we finish.
All right.
So,
All right.
Jeff, basketball. How did you find it? How did you fall in love? Where did it start?
I think growing up in West Charlotte, that was everything. Everybody played basketball. Just kind of that's what everybody attracted to the basketball court. As a young age, I watched my uncles play Saturday afternoons. Everybody would be at the basketball court just watching the games. So I kind of picked it up from that. And I was always the youngest kid playing with the older guys. So that's kind of how I developed it, and just being around it so much. All my whole family played, all my uncles, my cousins, everybody played. So I kind of inherited naturally, organically, as they say. So for me, it was a part of my family.
So were any of your uncles like really good, uncles or cousins really good or whatever?
I think a couple of my uncles was really good, but the times were different. You know, it wasn't like now. Like they played ball, but they wasn't in love with ball. They didn't have trainers. They didn't have all the stuff that we have now to get better. So I think, and then when like my dad was really good. My dad was like an All-American. My mom got pregnant, so it was no more basketball. So you know how it is. The times was different. So he had to go to work. So nowadays you could get a girl, you can have a baby and still play, and go to college and do it. It's so much more access to do it. But then you couldn't do that. So for me, no, my dad was really good, but he never was granted any opportunities with it.
Hey guys, Jeff is not telling you guys to go out and make babibles though. He's just saying you can't. Just
That's
FYI.
right.
So no, don't be getting in
That's true.
trouble.
Nah, that's true. I'm just saying, I'm talking about my life and how I grew up. But no, I'm not saying it like that. But I had some kids that I've coached who, had some mistakes, and, they handled it and been a man about it. That's all I'm saying. If it happens, just be a man about it.
That's right. If it does happen, take care of your responsibilities. Always.
That's
always.
Right.
That's first and
right.
foremost. So as you were playing basketball growing up and you're playing against your uncle and the other people, was there any trash talking?
Oh, all the time. Yeah. I'm from like Beatties Road in West Charlotte. I don't know anybody from Charlotte. They know about Charlotte, but that's the West Side. And everybody know, like, we used to known to be the toughest guys, and we play tough. You can't really play out there if you don't talk, or if you lose, you might not never play again because there's so many guys waiting. So it just built that competitive spirit in me. And I think that's why I'm so competitive, even when I coach, when I play, even when I mess around with my son on the video game. I'm just competitive to try to win because I grew up like that. It's not the end of all, but I just think if you're gonna do something, just try to be the best at it. And that's what growing up on West Side done for me. So yeah, definitely trash talking.
Was there ever a point where they were talking trash talking and you were losing, and then they were talking trash talking and you were like, oh really? Bring it, like you had it. What grade was that, or right around what time?
Well, all the time. I mean, yeah, I think, but I was always like I talk winning or losing. So I think most people talk when they're only winning, but I was both. I talk when I'm losing, and it kind of motivated me to get back in the game or to play better. So I don't know. I just talk all the time when I play, and that's just who I am when I play. Like, so I don't know. It never bothered me, but some guys can't play and talk, but I don't know. I talked a lot of guys out of their game because they're so busy talking to me and they're really doing their job. So yeah, definitely I affect a lot of guys with it.
Yeah. See, and I haven't played a sport with trash talking, but I used to play spades with trash talking. And I'd be like, stop talking, I can't think right now, stop
talking. Right. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
Right, you were so I'd be like, don't talk.
Right. Yeah,
I used to go, my family is from Charlotte, Lincolnton, Gastonia, Shelby, and we used to go to a park called Holyoke.
Okay.
Is that in Charlotte?
About. What is it again?
Holyoke Park. Is that in Charlotte or Shelby?
That might be in Shelby.
Okay, what's the park? What's the park in Charlotte where everybody used to wash their cars?
Hornets Nest Park.
Okay.
Hornets Nest.
we used to go to some park and everybody used to just sit and wash cars.
Yeah, that's Hornets Nest. Hornets Nest Park. They ride around all. Yeah,
Yeah, and they would just sit there and wax the wheels and stuff like that. And so that was like a cool thing when I was growing up, was to go watch people wash cars, and do the wheels. So yeah, but my family's not from Lincolnton. They're from Iron Station, and Iron Station is next to Lincolnton.
Okay, that's where my school is in Lincolnton.
Yeah.
Combine Academy. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, that's wild. Yeah. So you're playing basketball, you're getting your groove, you go to high school. When you're in high school, are you thinking like, I could probably do something with this in basketball? I mean, like, did somebody tell you that, or did you feel it, or how did you know basketball was coming forward?
I just think, colleges start reaching out, and I mean, yeah, the tension started growing. People knew who I was everywhere I go because of my high school games. A lot of area dudes from John C. Smith University was coming over. They was like, we heard they got a kid over here. We need to come see it. Like UNC Charlotte players were coming to my game. So I was like, wow. So I saw the attention. Everything started growing as far as people coming to my school watching. People was writing about me. So I went to a couple big time camps that, dudes from Charlotte really don't get to go to. So I saw it take off a little bit, and then I started taking it serious when I saw that. But before then, I was just playing, having fun. But I think, the attention started making it a little more surreal for me.
What's that like when you're playing with your friends, and then all of a sudden people are starting to notice you, and maybe some of your friends are still playing? Is it hard to make that separation? I mean, what are you thinking? Like, I'll go, but bring my boys? Or are you thinking like, okay, I'll give it a try?
I think that was hard. Like when Oak Hill came calling, I played at West Charlotte with all my boys. We just won a championship, and but I got good friends, and they were like, "Man, go." I mean, we can't go, So like, I knew I had good friends in my corner because selfishly they wanted me to go, and selfishly I didn't want to leave them, but I knew it was best for me. So I knew it would all work out in the end because none of my friends was like got mad at me or thought it was a bad decision. Because I think in all our minds we knew if they had the chance they would have won too. So I knew if they didn't say that, they didn't mean well for me. So I think to this day, I mean, 100 years later, we still all friends. We still all tight. We still all talk. So I think this being real is just how we grew up. And like I said, if it was another one of my friends with the opportunity, I would have probably told him, you got to go. So, I mean, that was just how it was. So no, I don't think I had any people that was mad at me over going, but they supported me. And I think that's why we all, like I said, still tight now.
Yeah. No, I didn't mean they would be mad at you. I mean, like, sometimes people are afraid to
take the jump. Yeah.
Like afraid to leave the nest. Like, oh my God,
nah.
Are you serious? Like my friends, I can't go.
Right.
Can I bring one?
I wasn't scared of that. I mean, like I said, because I had been to camps and stuff on my own to California to go to camps, flying on a plane at 14. So no, I wasn't scared of, like, I was always felt like I was different. Like, I'm not scared to do stuff that normal people want to do. And I think that's a part of who I am. Like, I ain't scared to say something. Maybe I would have had a lot more endorsements, but I'm just who I am. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I'm gonna say what I want to say. Like, if I feel it, I'm gonna say it, kind of thing. So,
and that's a part of the whole, like I said, self-efficacy, because you take a chance when you say things, and some people won't take the chance. They'll try and fit in that box instead of saying what's really on their heart, or instead of going in the direction that's true to them. And then you wind up hearing, I mean, look at all these people now in sports with mental health issues and that are crying out now. And I was reading, and I mention this all the time. This was the reason why I started these podcasts, is because the anxiety level for NCAA athletes is 150% to 200% higher than their peers. So that means the people that are going to college together, that anxiety level for those athletes is that much higher. And the thing is, guess what? You're here on scholarship. I don't want to hear about your problems. Right. Do you know what I mean? And it may not, sometimes it may not be openly stated, but some people are thinking that because they're like, look, I got to pay for my tuition. You should just, but they don't realize all the pressures and the challenges that are there. Let me ask you, how many hours did you have to practice in high school? And then how many hours did you have to practice in college to get to where you were?
I think your life becomes it. I mean, it's not about the hours. Like I could never put a time on it, but it should become your life. If you want to do it at the next level, like all the free time I had to be in the gym playing ball or preparing my body for playing ball. So I think when you realize that a lot of stuff in your life becomes secondary, I mean, so you have to make decisions on, like, you might lose out on some social stuff, because I wanted to be the best player when I got to Carolina. So the month before going to Carolina, I was just about basketball in the gym, and it wasn't about that. Then I didn't want to do it. Like, so you kind of have to put barriers and restraints on yourself to know, and it's all self-control. You know what you want to do. You got to have self-control. Like, if my friends going to party and all this, I know I got to be at the workout. I can't go. So it's just self-control, and I think having good people in your corner, I always go back to that, because I had good friends and good people in my corner. So they kept me straight. They kept me like, hey, it's a month before you go to Chapel Hill, or shouldn't you be doing this, or shouldn't you be like, so that's what you got to have. And I say that to all the young people, just have good people in your corner who gonna tell you right and wrong, whether it hurt your feelings or not. The truth has no controversy. So I always live my life like that. Like, just when my boys tell me the truth, don't get mad and just take it for what it is. And it's got me a long way with it. And I can handle constructive criticism. And that's kind of what I teach my players, the people I talk to. You ask me, how does this look? And if I tell you the truth, you get mad. You know that kind of people, like, hey, how does dress look? And if they tell you, hey, not so good, you get mad at the person who told you. So I just think transparent and being honest and truthful with yourself and the people around you do the same, then it's easier. So the time what you make it. The transition from high school to college is all about what you make it. It's not like 10 hours or 12 hours, but it's the time you want. If you want to be the best player, you put the time in. If you want to be the best teacher, put the time in. Whatever it is in life you want to be, you put the time in, and it comes. It starts forming, and you'll see it shaping in your way. But you can't trick it. You can't go in the gym an hour and act like you was there 10 hours, because it shows in your work.
Yeah, yeah. And the people around you know it, the people
Right,
around
exactly.
As a teacher, my students come in and they try to fake it. And I'm like, no, you didn't do the work. I have 2 interns right now, right? And one intern, I asked him to do an assignment. He gave me half the assignment. I was like, oh, good job, because I wasn't really paying attention. I went back and I looked and I was like, wait a minute. He's like, oh, my bad, Miss Jones. It's almost done. Because you're right. You can't fake it, because people have certain expectations around you,
Right.
But the thing is, you went to Oak Hill. And so I don't know if I got the right Oak Hill, but the Oak Hill that I read about, it was like 138 to 150 students. And it was like,
yeah, that's it.
270 acres.
Boarding school, yeah, that's it.
Okay. And if I read the right thing on the instructions, it said, if you are coming by private plane. So some of your classmates came by private plane.
Some of them, yes.
Wow. Wow. So so I'm looking at the private plane. I'm looking at 150 students. I'm looking at 8 to 10 kids per class, right? That's what they said. You're there. You came from approximately 1,500 students in West Charlotte, in your school. And I know there were more than 10 people in the class.
Right.
Transitioning from one to the other. What was it like?
Mindset. Like, my mindset was to get to Carolina or get to NC. So nothing, it could have been anything. Like, nothing was gonna get in my way of my goals. So, like, it didn't matter where I was at. They took me and I was in the mountains and 10 people in the class. It didn't matter. I just adjusted, and like, I knew what I wanted. So it didn't matter what I had to go through to get it. As long as it was the right stuff. I wasn't doing nothing crazy, but as long as it was all in the realm of, getting to my goal, I was cool with it. And I think I wasn't a guy who complained and make excuses. I just know what I wanted. So, I mean, I saw the end goal, if that makes sense. So all of that was cool. And my adjustment was great. I missed my friends, but at the end of the day, when I knew I always had a saying, like the NBA or like when Dean Smith come calling, he's not gonna call me and my friends. He's gonna just take me or him, or, it's not a group thing. So getting drafted is not a group thing. It's an individual thing. So at some point, much as you love your crew or your boys or whatever, you have to step out the nest a little bit and do your own thing. so for Oak Hill, that was what it was. It was another step to my goals.
Yeah. And the interesting about Oak Hill is I was reading about Dunbar's, I want to say it right, Dunbar's number. So Dunbar's number is, it says that you can comfortably have 150 relationships where you can like sit down and talk and, like dump or whatever it is, have those intimate relationships with 150 people, right? So that means that you could have an intimate relationship with every single person at that school if it's 150 people. So you learn that support, that familial love, etc. Learn communication, language. You can be yourself, you know what I mean? Because it's so small. But then you decide to go to a university, the best university, good choice. 29,500 students roughly. You can trust everybody, right? I mean, not trust everybody, but you know everybody. You know who you can and cannot trust at Oak Hill. You go to USC, there has to be a different in the dynamics. Now, I don't know what it was like when you were there, but I'm gonna tell you something, that when I was in school, some of the girls would tell me that they came to school for MRS. They came to get married. They came to get married to a basketball player or a football player. They came for MRS. So how do you discern, because remember, you're in that trust mode. You got to shift from that trust mode of like trusting everybody around you to like, different people have different intentions.
That's true. Well, for me, I just go back to, I trust my upbringing. Like I didn't have a whole lot of friends, and I just kind of went through the school, and I just did what I had to do. I was there to play basketball and to get my education and all the other stuff. I met a lot of people, but I guess my upbringing was different. I could tell fake and phony and people like that. So for me, I've never had a bad time because I don't really have a lot of new friends, how people say it. I just kind of have associates. So I don't let people get too close to me. Then at Carolina, I didn't. I just kind of had friends and kind of was about my business. Like I said, I knew where I was trying to go. So none of that stuff like was gonna stop me from my goals. So I knew a lot of girls like that, but at the end of the day, I mean, they probably did get misses, but you know what I'm saying? Like, and it probably happened legit. But for me, I didn't care about none of that. I had friends and stuff when I was in college, but I was just there to try to go to the NBA. You know what I'm saying? And get an education and be the first person and get a degree in my family. That's kind of my goals were different, not about all that stuff. Now I had fun, but at the end of the day, I mean, I was just focused on what I was trying to do. Like my friends were Stag, the basketball players. Those were my friends.
So wait, were you the first person in your family to go to college?
Yeah, to a school like that. Yes, definitely. Yeah, my family went to community colleges and stuff, but nobody in my family really went to school like that. Yes.
Wow. So was your mother like, now that's my baby? Did she
Yeah,
come to the
I
game?
did. Oh yeah, every game.
So what was it like when you saw your mom in the stands? And you know your mom, how your mom is. What was it like when you saw her in the stands?
I mean, it's just you feel it's a good feeling when you make your parents proud. I mean, you know how it is. It's good. But I always wanted more for her. I wanted to see her live. Like I know she raised us and she went through a lot. So I wanted to reward her. So I played that much harder. I did whatever I had to do. Like I keep saying, to get to my goal. My goal was to make my life comfortable for my mom and my family. So, and when I did it, I felt accomplished then, but never until that time. So I was able to give her keys to a house,
Wow.
tell her she can quit her job. You don't have to work for nobody no more. Work for me. Stuff like that. That was the most gratifying part of my whole journey. But when I could tell her, you don't have to work. Stop. Pick up your house keys and just work for me and do stuff for me, and I'll pay you. So that was for me. I mean, like I heard a guy, Kwame Brown, say people talked about him and all this stuff about him, but he was an 18-year-old dude who put his mom on a golf course. So how can you say anything about that? You know what I'm saying? He's 18 years old. He put his mom on a golf course. So he winning. So I don't know how people would say anything bad about someone who does that. So for me, I thought about that. And for me, that was my defining moment when I put my mom in the house. It wasn't on the golf course, but it was straight. So for me, I felt that comment and that statement when he made it. So yeah. So I mean, yeah, you do everything for mom. And I think that was my motivation.
The purpose and the focus and yeah, the purpose and the focus. So I was very close to my parents too. So you're at UNC, it's your junior year, you decide to take the leap to go into the NBA. Are you feeling nervous? Are you ready? Or what are you thinking?
I was ready. My granddad got really sick, and I always wanted to go to the NBA I wanted him to see me play in the NBA, like, because that's who kind of raised me, like all coming up, my mom and my granddaddy. So he got sick, and we had money. So I was like, man, I just got to do it. I kind of did it for my family, and for me, it was like probably 10% me for me, because I know if I would have came back my senior year, I would have probably been a top 3 pick. But injuries. I seen my friend Donald Williams get hurt his senior year. He never got in the league, so I had a lot of stuff on my mind, like coming back, going. So I think I just went. For me and my family, I went, and it turned out great. I got drafted, like you said, second round. I always had confidence in myself I could play. So it was never about playing. Like my confidence, like that, I think that was my biggest strength, like as a kid, because I always thought I was better than anybody. And I mean, that's just how could you play a sport and think people better than you? That's just how I was raised. Like now they'd be like, who's the best guard I always be like, well, besides me, so like,
Oh, you mean number 2?
Yeah, right. So it's like I always answer like that, being funny. But I mean, I just think you gotta have confidence in yourself, or nobody else will. So, yeah, kind of like that. So I mean, that's just where it comes from. I bet on myself, like they say nowadays. I mean, I wasn't scared to bet on myself because I knew I could play. I knew I could be I knew I was a pro. So I wasn't scared to take the channels, and when I had to go all these roads, but that's been my whole life. Like I've been a fighter all my life. Like I've been fighting these steps, like you just said, from Oak Hill to the CBA, this. So like it's just another stepping stone for me to go through. So, and then when that happened in Greece, I had to go to Greece after that. I think I started wavering a little bit with like, is this for me? Like when I got sent to Greece, because I felt like I was doing everything right at this point. And then I had to go to Greece. And that was like when I started questioning it, like, is this basketball stuff for me? But my confidence never wavered as far as playing, but just so much stuff was happening. I started like, I am human. So I started being like, damn, like, is this worth it? And I prayed about it. And the next day, I guess God answered me, because he told me, yeah, it's worth it. So everything at that point just started rolling. I was back in the NBA, and then everything just happened the way I needed to happen. So yeah, I took the lunge because sure.
You skipped over something that was the highlight for me.
Okay.
When you were playing for the Nuggets, you quit.
Oh yeah, I did. I felt like they were putting me in a lot of crazy situations to fail. So we played in Atlanta, and the head coach called me. He was like, you need extra tickets, because a lot of my family was there too. We were going to Charlotte the next day. So this is part about me being young and immature too. So this is why I'm so passionate now about telling kids how to play the game, what to do. But anyway, so he gave me like 12 extra tickets in Atlanta. I played. I was in the rotation playing, doing all this stuff. So then the next day we come to Charlotte. He calls my room like, hey, coach, I got like eight extra tickets. I know you got a lot of family here. Cool. So I got the tickets. He ain't played me at all, like the whole game. And for me, I couldn't understand, why would you do all this to give me these tickets, know this my family, know how big this is, my granddad. I just told you my whole reason why I wanted to go to the NBA. The first time my granddad could ever come to a game, see me play, like it was so much. And the man didn't play me. So not that he owed it to me to play me, but I just felt like I was already playing. So why tonight would you do this? So the next day, I didn't go to the bus. I was like, F it, I ain't going to the bus. me, part of me being so stubborn of who I am. I told you it's the gift and the curse, the person that I am. So I didn't go. So I told my agent I ain't going back. And I made a decision, like I might be first dude ever quit an NBA team, but I just quit. I was like, I'm not going. So I know 2 days later they released me, and my agent got me a deal in Greece. So that's when I went to Greece. But yeah, I just felt I didn't really know the business yet, and I just didn't understand that. Like where I'm from, that's disrespectful. I mean, like, but who am I? I was like I said, an 18, 19-year-old kid trying to find his way, but I just didn't understand that. But I don't know. That was probably a bad mistake, but I don't regret it because I stood up for myself. So
I don't know if it was, I mean, I don't know if it was good or bad or whatever, but I know that was the most powerful thing for me in everything that I read about you was the fact that you quit a team. Because to think about, as you said, the focus was always about getting to the NBA and all the steps that you had to do and, all the workout, et cetera, et cetera. But to believe in yourself enough to know that there's more than this. And then also to have the self-respect to say, you know what, this is weighing me down to a point where, I gotta keep myself up. If I don't keep myself up in some kind of a way, how can I perform the best on the court? And I can't remember her name, and please forgive me because I can't remember her name right now, but the tennis player who just quit. She said, I need a mental health break, right? I need a mental health break.
Right.
When she comes back, she's gonna be on fire because she took that break to build herself up. Oprah has a life coach. I was listening to this, what do you call that thing? Clubhouse thing. And there's this guy, TJ Fox. He's a 9-figure guy. He has 7 life coaches and he uses 4 at a time because guess what? He needs to make sure he builds himself up strong enough to continue in that 9-figure business to support all those people around him. And as you said, you got your family, you got your friends, you got all these people around you that are counting on you. And if you're weighed down so much, how can you give to them? How can you give to you? And then going to Greece, I mean, I don't know if that was you or your agent, but I just thought that was ingenious in the simple fact that if you had stayed here, imagine all the you should have and you ought to and you're crazy. Why you do that? That's self. You can't regroup and become the best that you need to be amongst all the chaos. You know what I mean? Because you're taking care of everybody else's needs and everybody else's wants instead of building up Jeffrey to be the best that Jeffrey can be and come back to the NBA and do what he's got to do. Right. So when I was speaking of self-efficacy and doing it your way, I mean, I don't know what you're thinking. I don't know what other people think. Oh gosh, she's so bad for saying that. But I just think that is the most powerful thing because there are so many people right now blowing spit bubbles. I'm saying that jokingly, but it's not, loosely or whatever, but really, truly challenged because they did not take out time in between for themselves.
Right.
For themselves.
Yeah, I totally agree. So yeah. I mean, at the time I was questioning it, but I just, like I told you from the start, I just believe in what I believe in, and it is what it is. I mean, I've always been that way. So, I mean, I'm older now, you get better, but at the time I thought it was the right thing to do. And then it worked out. So for me, like I said, I don't regret it, but yeah.
I will be sharing that story with a lot of people, because like I said, self-preservation is key. And I just thought that was powerful. So you did what you did. You went to Greece. Tell me about Greece. Oh, I always wanted to see like the blue and the white and the water. And, I saw nice. the some show. I don't know, it was some show. It was a B movie, but it was in Greece and it was beautiful.
It's beautiful. I mean, you got like water, beaches everywhere. I mean, it is nice. It looked like, it's almost like America. You got all the same restaurants. You got Subway, you got McDonald's. I mean, it just looked like it's just different. The people talk different, but it is amazing. They got big mountains, big water. It's really nice. Like I stayed in Bouillot Mini, and it's like just all beaches. It's just like my place was right by the beach. People calling me. My place was right by the beach, so yeah, I just would go out for practice and come home and sit outside all day. I made a couple of friends on my team, so I wasn't as bored as And then I knew a couple guys from Charlotte playing out there at the same time. So I actually had a good time when I was there. Greece is unbelievable. The food was awesome. Great food, steaks, steak houses. They don't serve steak sauce though. They give you lemons. So I had to send for some
Wow.
A1. I had to send for some A1 back in the States. So I would come in with my A1 in my hand and everybody be looking like, what is wrong with you? Like, our food good, you don't need that. Like, so that's like it was little stuff like that I had fun with, like just going to the places and people getting to know you. The culture is different. You have to adjust to the culture, but it was great. I mean, like I said, I've been a lot of places, and like I said, I tell people I'm passionate for basketball because I'm a dude from Beatties for a road, and this little round ball got me in Greece, got me in Spain, got me in all these places. So like these places I never could go without the ball. So that's why I'm passionate and grateful for this game of basketball.
Did you learn how to do the dance? No?
No, I ain't do that. I ain't do that dances now.
No,
I ain't do that.
I'm
I
like,
ain't
I want
learned
to
that
teach you.
dance.
My friend's Greek, and we did the dance, and I have a video of it. We did the dance one time, and they were like, "You're not gonna get up and do the dance." I was like, "Yes, I am. I'm gonna lead it if I can." I was number
That's
two,
right.
but I was up there. I got my little oopa in there. So,
All right.
so you went from the oopa to the CBA, and not only did you go to the CBA, you commanded the CBA. What was that like? Because there is no longer CBA, right?
No, they made changes to like the G League now. But
See, after
I
you
came
come in, you make changes because you went to UNC. After you left UNC, Dean Smith left. He's like, "No, Jeff, I'm going." You went to CBA, you left. There's no C League. There's no CBA. Now there's a G League. You always doing stuff, Jay.
all
Jeff.
right, I'm back.
Tell me about the CBA.
So I got to I got drafted. Well, I was supposed to go to Florida to a team in Florida, but they traded my rights to a team in Chicago. So right outside Chicago, Moline, Illinois. So I got there kind of down a little bit. I really didn't want to be there at the time I got there. And I felt like I should have been back in the league. So I kind of was like, man, I got to do this. So I went to the CBA. But once again, when I got there, I pouted probably for the first day or two. And then I took care of my business. I was like, I'm here again, another step, just go do what you got to do. So I kind of played really good. I got newcomer of the year. It didn't really, I thought I should have got out of there quicker, but it actually helped me because I was able to get better as a player. Like that year right there made me become a better player, that I had a chance to be in the CBA and then fighting and riding buses to the games. It humbled me back out to, I was never over arrogant, but it humbled me to a place where I needed to be to get back to where I wanted to go, if that makes sense. So that next summer I went home, I worked out back again like I didn't have nothing, like I'd never been there. It made me go back to the bottom. And then I got picked up by the Wizards. So I stayed in the league from there the whole time. So those moments were, to me, were the best parts because I saw myself. I looked at my bank account one time in the CBA and was like, holy shit, you got to wake up, bro. Like, what you doing? Like, my money was getting low. I mean, it was just a lot going on. Like I said, I went to the bottom, but I was having success on the court, but I went to the bottom far as what I was thinking and what I was doing. I was spending money too much. I was just doing too much. And I had to humble myself back out to focus it back out, to get to my goals again. So that's what the CBA did for me. It really, and my son came from the CBA. So my son,
Wow.
I had a son. Yeah, I had my son when I was in the CBA. So, yeah.
So your son was born in Iowa, Idaho, that area?
Yeah, Illinois. Yeah, yes, ma'am.
Wow,
Mm-hmm.
that's cool. So you're in Iowa, Idaho, Illinois. You're away from family because family's in North Carolina, but you have a fan. You have support. You have somebody in the audience who's cheering you
Well,
on.
nah, he was young. He
But
didn't.
his
I didn't
mother
have.
quite was cheering you on, right?
Oh yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, a
So I'm
little
saying,
bit.
but I'm saying you still have support
No doubt.
in the
Yes.
stands, keeping it going, because sometimes that voice out there is what you need to, keep it going when times get tough.
That's right. Yeah. Her family. Yeah, they were good to me. Like, yeah, they treated me like family too. So yeah, they were good too. Definitely.
So you're back in the league and you play for Washington,
Washington, the Wizards.
Portland,
Yeah.
Cleveland, Nets, Charlotte.
Yeah. It was good.
Tell me something about the journey.
I just think at that point I knew it was a business. Like I played for fun already. I knew what it was about, and I knew I was just trying to make the most money I could make at this point before, like this job don't last forever. I knew that. So I just had to try to make the most money wherever it's at, because when you get in the NBA, it's really not fun no more. Like it's a business, so you have to work to stay employed. So like where they say have fun is really not fun, because you always grinding, trying to stay better, trying to get better, trying to get to the next thing, or trying to get to the next contract, or I'm a free agent this year. It's just always something. So I tell people, like, it's the best job in the world, but it's stressful as hell too. So, but you just gotta, you want to do it. If you want to be a ball player, it's worth it. It's worth all that. But at the end of the day, it is a lot of work on and off the court. And that's like I keep going back to, you got to have a good support system. You got to have people around you that's not willing to bullshit you. Sorry, but they got to be honest with you and tell you the truth. Like now, my circle is like that. Like I always tell them, man, don't lie to me, man. You know what I'm saying? Especially if I play bad, don't come to my good game, bro. I ain't play good. You know what I'm saying? Don't come to my car talking about a good game. That's not true. You know what I'm saying? So I've never had that. Like I've had guys be like, man, where was you at tonight, bro? Like the truth, like, so that's kind of what I always harp on, that because I feel like that's the most important thing with young athletes growing up. Have the right people in your corner. Like that's important. If you're going to have an entourage, have the right entourage. Like I respect LeBron James so much. All his guys are in position of power. He made it happen for them. So you have to be right within yourself. But if you got a platform, empower your boys, empower your people. So I respect LeBron. He does that. Dwayne Wade does that. A lot of guys out here empower their guys. Kawhi Leonard, he empowers his guys. So that's what it is. You get the platform and empower your people. So that's
you have to make sure the people
like.
that you empower aren't trying to compete with you and knock you off your throne.
No, I know. I think that's why they're your people, because at this point in the game, you know who your guys are. I mean, I think you probably had some guys like that in your circle, but they all fall by the wayside. They never make it this far. The guys with agendas and ulterior motives, they never get this far, because they're gonna try to get something that's so small that if you just waited, you could have got a bigger piece. So that's just, it always happens. Like they're always gonna do something to play themselves, like we call it. So yeah, you don't have to worry about that. That happens.
Do you ever sit back and think and like, thank God that you worked with different teams, different coaching styles, so that you could find the best of the best in the arenas that you're in? Do you know what I mean?
Oh, definitely.
So that now,
definitely.
you as a coach, you can pull. So sometimes people are so tunnel vision and they're in this one area until the only thing they can pull from is right here, right? But if you have this, if you have the spectrum, you can get the best of this, the best of this, the best of this, and two of the best of this, or what, I mean.
Yeah, I definitely.
Best.
Yeah, I definitely take coaching from everybody. All the coaches that I've been involved with, I try to take something from them and build my own me. But yes, all the coaches, Paul Salas, Dean Smith, Alvin Gentry, all the coaches that I played for, I've taken something from them and try to put it in my coaching style. I want to do it different. I want to do it my way. I don't just copy them. I'm not a copycat guy, but I take it and I try to put my own twist on it. And that's just always been me. That's how I am. But I'm not afraid to learn. Like I always told, I had a story that I always tell, like when I played for the Cavs one time, I'm like the type person who I talk to anybody, if that makes sense. Like people like, man, you don't act like no NBA player. So I went to a gas station one day and I had just had like a okay game, but I missed a couple threes or whatever. And it was a wino kind of like hanging around the store. And when I got out the truck, he saw me and he kind of recognized who I was. And he was like, "You Jeff McInnis?" I was like, "Yeah, what's up, man?" He said, "Man, you got to shoot that ball up, man. You shooting that ball too flat, man. Like, get your legs and shoot the ball up." And I looked at him and I was like, "All right." He said, "You got $1?" So I gave him $20 bill and he was like, "I appreciate you." So he left. So a week later, I'm like working out and I'm like, "Man, I got to get my shot up." And my dude who I'm shooting with, like, "Yeah, you do. You're shooting flat. I wanted to tell you that." So the next game we had, I probably made like 6 threes. I made it my business to go back to that store, and I found that man. And I'm gonna be honest with you, it's a I gotta find it. I'm gonna send it to you. They did a day in the life with me, and the man is on this day in the life because I went up to him and was like, when I went up to him the second time, they got it recorded. So I'm gonna try to get it to you. But I went in the store. I was like, bro, what's up? He was like, I see you hitting some shots finally. I said, man, yo, you don't know how much your tip helped me. I dapped him up and I gave him 2 tickets for the next game. And I bought him something to eat. I bought him some shoes. I bought him some clothes, put on stuff. So it was like, so for me, if I just big time this bomb, I don't get this knowledge to help me progress in this, like help me. So my point is I never big time people, and you can get information from anybody can tell you something helpful in life. So don't look down on people. Like you never know who is who. And like that man had a choice why his life didn't turn out right. But as the more I got to know him, he was an All-American basketball player, got into some stuff and just never had a chance. But you can't look at the book and just judge it. But that man gave me some helpful stuff. So to make a long story short, we stayed in touch for a long time. And then like, I don't know what happened to him. Like when I left Cleveland, I always would send people like, go by this store, make sure my man all right, just little stuff like that. And then they'll put him on the phone with me, but then I lost contact with him. So I don't know, but that's just a little story of just being humble and meeting people, and you never know who is who. So yeah, that was one that always stand out to me.
Yeah, your commitment is amazing. So you're still committed until where are you today?
Right now,
Where are you?
I'm in Phoenix, Arizona.
And why are you in Phoenix?
This kid, Tyshawn Alexander, I've been training him since like 8th grade. Kind of like my guy. He played for the Phoenix Suns now. So I came to see him, talked to him last night. Just need to give him a little pep talk. Just catch him back up, make sure everything going on with him the right way. And I'll go to the game tonight, watch him play, the playoff game tonight. And then I'll fly out tomorrow back, and I have a team camp in South Carolina at University of South Carolina on Saturday. So, I just got to get it in and see my people. But yeah, I'm proud of this kid, man. He worked really hard to get here. And he let me lead him. So it was an easy process because he trusted me. He let me guide him. And
I read an article on him where he mentioned that he moved, I think, because of you.
Yeah.
He moved and he wanted you to lead him along the way. He went to what's the school? Oak Hill because of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's him.
And that's that commitment, that's that support that we need. We need to build people up. And you know what? No matter what age, you still need support.
That's right.
The depression and all these other things are really happening for those people 24 and up. And once again, support is needed. So I wanted to ask you something. I know that you've done a phenomenal job with young adults and you've done a phenomenal job with the academy. Do you think you could ever coach in the NBA? Do you think you could ever coach college? So let me ask you something. Houston Rockets. You know what their record is right now? It's 17 and 55, I think it is.
Yes.
If Houston called you right now, would you say, and they say, hey, Jeff, we need some help. Could you do it?
Yeah, definitely. Yes. I mean, yes, I think I can coach. I think I can coach. I think I can do it. I have confidence in myself. I have a lot to learn, but I think the grand scheme of things, yes, I can do it. Like Paul Salas is one of my mentors I mentioned, and I know his son, Steven. So, I hate that, it's going like that for them. But yeah, I think I can definitely do it. And hopefully,
what could you do? What
Huh?
could you do? What could you do? If you could do,
What
what could you do?
With the Rockets?
Yeah, what could you do? What do you think you would do?
I think I can make them better. I think I can make anything better. If you see my track record, every team I've touched, I came to this school, they were not even heard of. I mean, one year they were national team. Second year we all over the map. So this year be the third year. So I'm not bragging, but every team I've coached, we win. I mean, it's not by coincidence. I build a product, I make it right. I just coach it one way, and that's not like, that's the Dean Smith in me. We play the right way, we do the right thing, and the results come. So for me, I have ultimate confidence I could coach. Yeah, I see a lot of my peers coaching, getting it done. Stackhouse is a great coach. We've been growing up coaching together. So yeah, definitely. I definitely think if I get the opportunity, I can excel in any opportunity. Coaching, yeah, because I made the transition from player to coach. It was hard at first. A lot of guys have a hard time doing it. But you got to start from the bottom. I never coached like that, so I had to start from the bottom. A lot of people think their NBA status or their basketball status propels them here in coaching, but if you never coach, you start from the bottom. And I think when you tell a lot of dudes with a lot of money, you got to go from the bottom. It's like, nah, I ain't doing that. So for me, I'm willing to start from the bottom and get to the top, and I've done that. So in the NBA ranks, I don't have no experience like that, so I would have to start from the bottom again. But I'm very confident that I could do it, coaching the NBA, and hope you make a difference. Yeah, definitely.
But you could start from the bottom and do it.
Oh yeah,
I
definitely.
believe you
Yes,
can do it.
ma'am.
I mean, I'm looking at what you've done with your team, Team Charlotte, the AU team, and which is also sponsored by Under Armour. Yeah, and your coach awards and all that, and the things that you've done. Now you've got JMac summer camp, right? The JMac summer
Yeah.
camp, and how
Yes.
you're continuously expanding. I mean, I know you can do it. I know. I just want to see if you knew.
Okay, I
I
know.
just
I
want to see
know.
if you knew.
I know.
That is you have such a variety of experience, such a variety of insight, working with all different ends of the spectrum with regards to, you know, perceptions and access to resource and tools. Because I'm quite sure that some of the things that you had access to in Oak Hill, you may not have had access to in Mecklenburg in West Charlotte, and some of the things you had access to at UNC, you probably wouldn't have access to elsewhere. And some of the things you had access to in the NBA, I'm quite sure you didn't have access to in the CBA, which you just mentioned, and in Greece. So you have had the ability to work with different mindsets. Do you know what I mean? With people who have different mindsets. Somebody who plays in Greece has a different mindset from somebody who plays in the NBA, etc. So you've had an opportunity to do that. Different coaches, different environments. I mean, it's just the US. So no matter where you pull a player from, you have some exposure to that geographic region. So you can relate to them and you can talk culturally to them about,
Right.
how to excel, how to succeed in their language.
Right.
So you bring a whole lot to the table. And like I said, you are the picture of self-efficacy. I mean, look, people call you J-Mac, I'm gonna call you SE.
Let's see. Okay.
That's SE over there. So, but Jeff, if there's anything that you can think of that I did not mention today that you would like to share with others, please feel free to share. I do want you to give the contact information about your program. I do want you to talk about the Team Charlotte and the Combine Academy. But what I would love for you to do,
No, go ahead.
But what I would love for you to do right now is if there's any seeds of knowledge that we haven't shared already, even the seeds of knowledge of how to get the U, the N, and the C together.
No, I'll just basically lead with just lead this here with people. Like when I always talk to my kids and when I do coaching clinics of kids and the youth, because I think the youth is the future. Our youth, we have to uplift them for the world to be better, because it's them. It's not gonna be us to change, it's gonna be them who change it. So for me, I would just say just get back to the basic. Listen to your parents, say thank you, tell your mom you love them, tell people you love them. Just the small things. For me, I'm really big on small stuff, like my mom. That's my best friend. So every day we talk, I tell her I love her. So it's just little stuff like that for me. Like I'm big on thank you. No, I mean, just how you respect adults. I think that's lost in today's world, respecting adults, because I deal with so many kids that how are they going to respect me as a coach and not respect their parents? So it's like, we have to be together. We bridge the gap together. I work with parents so one-on-one now to make these kids understand, like, you can't just have basketball. You can't disrespect me and think it's okay here or vice versa. So I think working together with these parents have really helped these kids. And that's what I say. I think just getting the respect back to being scared of adults. I was scared of my mom and dad. Like nowadays, kids not, So for me, I just tell them to get back to the fundamentals of saying thank you, saying no, respecting your parents and being on time is important for me, the way I coach basketball and in life. Because I tell them, all of y'all not gonna play basketball. Some of y'all gonna have a job. You gonna work. So take these same life lessons in basketball to your job, and you can't fail. Like being on time. That's a big thing for me as a coach. Like if practice at 10 o'clock, and you should be in the gym at 9:30 ready to practice. not coming in here at 9:55 because you're kind of late to a real practice because you should be stretched out and ready. So it's life lessons that I teach these kids. And I just say, like, if you understand this stuff, you make more money at your job, you get promoted quicker, and all this good stuff happens. Or if it's basketball, then you make money quicker. But it's all out of trying to be a better person. And I just wanted to say that because I said to my players so much, and like the message never get lost. I said to them every day, and I make sure any kid that leave there, if he mess up, I know I did my job because he's heard this from me every day. Hey, do this. I pull him in my office like, what's your grades like? What's this like? How is it at home? We more than basketball coaches, my staff. I don't know about other people, but my staff, we know our kids inside out. We know what they're going through at home. I mean, so we here to protect them, not just on basketball, like just in their life. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of stuff that we deal with. We had a kid that was on the news shooting at somebody, and we that's our kid. Like, so it's like, yeah, we've been through a lot of stuff, and we don't just get good kids. Like, I know we was talking about the private jets, but we get some of the other side too. You know what I'm saying? So for us, it's about being able to touch and reach every one of those kids, whether he on a private jet or whether he come from the ghetto. We got to be able to reach both. So for me, that's kind of what I want to just leave off with that and just say, yeah, man, you just got to get back to respecting the parents, and adults need to understand the kids too, what we dealing with and why they angry or why they have an attitude. Find out why. Get to know what he's going through before you just judge and say he's a bad kid. So that's for me. I try to give the kids the benefit of the doubt, and I want to get inside their heads and know them so I can help them if I can. Because like you said, I don't want a kid to quit the NBA. He might not get another chance to get back in. I did. I was fortunate, but the next time it might not happen that way. So I want to give you my knowledge and my story so you can not make those mistakes, if that makes sense.
Right. So I hope I wasn't bad for saying that I
No.
support your quitting. That was
No, that's okay. No. I get what you
I
was
hope
coming
that
from.
doesn't like upset any of your players or anything like that. But
No.
but there are times, when we need a break. But phenomenal. So let me ask you this. So then, since you're top of your game, you have a lot to offer, insight. If somebody wants to come to your camp, or if somebody wants to sign up for Team Charlotte, how do they get in touch with you? Do you have an email, not email address, website address or anything like that so that they can follow up on it?
Yeah, we have all that stuff. We got Facebook pages, Instagram. You can go to like, if they're on Instagram, I think it's Team CLT UAA. That's Team Charlotte, and I'm JMac Academy JMac Academy _0. That's me. Then Team Charlotte. What else I say? And then for my camp stuff, it's just like Combine Academy. You can go on to combineacademy.com and you'll see the link to JMac Academy camps. So yeah, it's little stuff like that. I got social media, but I don't use it like that. My players laugh at me because I don't really know a lot about this social media stuff, but I do have an Instagram. I do have a Twitter. My Twitter is McNasty _0. So, and I think Facebook, I'm just Jeff McInnis. So yeah, those are all my handlers, whatever they call it.
Wow. Well, Jeff, like I said, you are powerful. And like you said, you've learned lessons, you've taught lessons, you inspire, you encourage. You are the man. You're the man. So, but I want you to help me get that UNC cheer together, because I told you I'm trying to get the whole, the U, the N, the C together. Oh, okay, is that what you do? Is that what you just do like this?
It's for you.
That's a U. And then, well, I know sign language. U,
yeah.
N, C,
That's all
right?
you got to do. Do something like that. Yeah, something like let them know. You got it.
Well, know where I went to school? I went to the.
That's right. That's it. That's
All
it.
right.
That's it. That's it.
Well, listen, Jeff, thank you so much for everything. This has been an awesome time. I have learned so much. See, my head is getting bigger because it's, oh no, that's my hair, not my head. I'm sorry.
Okay.
So something's getting bigger over. I don't know, but I have learned so much, and you are just truly a delight. Your mama did a good job.
Well, I appreciate that so much, man. And thanks for having me on. And anytime you need me, I'm here. Sorry it took so long to get on.
Nope. You're doing what you got to do. But thank you for everything. And Jeff, what I will do is I will send you a copy of this and for you to
Okay.
review and then approve, and then I will post it after I receive your approval.
Okay, that's cool. No problem. All right. Thank you so much, Kelly.
Thank you.
All right.